Hello boys and girls, I'm Robbie from EnglishHarmony.com, and today we're going to look at the following English idiomatic expression, or in this case it's not actually idiomatic expression in the common sense of the word, it's a speech pattern. To be more specific, had I would have, and it's actually the so-called Conditional Sentence Type 3. And now actually spoke like a Briton, like a British person, you know. And in case you're wondering how I pulled it off and why I actually did it, you may want to check out my other blog, accentadventures.com, where I'm engaging in different accent learning missions, you know, and it's my second project on top of my existing blog, which is EnglishHarmony.com, but it's always going to remain my main blog anyway, because one cornerstone of the English Harmony philosophy is you don't have to compromise your fluency for perfect pronunciation. So normally I would speak with my own accent, you know. This is what it is, you know. What you see is what you get. So basically I'm speaking with my American/British/East European accent, which is a healthy mix of everything, you know, and I'm completely comfortable with that. But in case you're wondering how you can improve your accent and speak more like a native person, if that's what you pursue, you know, if that's your goal in terms of your English improvement, then you may want to check out that blog. But anyway, we're going to look at the speech pattern that I started to talk about. Had I would have, you know. And for some of you it might be very, very complicated, because traditionally it's taught as part of the advanced English grammar. It's Conditional Sentence Type 3, which is constructed by combining two parts. First clause is in past perfect. If I had done something, which is past perfect tense, and then the second clause contains the two verbs would, have, followed by conditional type 2, you know, and it's quite complicated if you look at it from the grammar perspective, you know. And you may be thinking now that I'm going against what I'm advocating for in all my videos. Don't be too concerned about your grammar, don't focus on grammar at all, you know. But that's actually what I'm doing now. What I'm about to say is forget about all the descriptions like conditionals, past perfect, conditional to, blah blah blah, whatever, you know. All you have to know is that it's a naturally occurring speech pattern, which means that it's spoken in real life and you just have to mimic it, you know, and learn the exact words. If I had followed by something, then would have followed by something else. So basically, if I had or had I is the same thing actually. It's conversationally, you're actually much better off using the second option. Had I done something? Had I been there? Had I written it? Had I submitted the documents on time? I would have. I would have been accepted for the job. I would have made it happen. All those other details can be filled in, and you'll be definitely able to fill them in as you speak. And this is the beauty of such speech patterns, you know, which have many features of idiomatic expressions, because so the basic feature of all idiomatic expressions is that people use them a certain way, and these conditional sentences are also following certain pattern, you know. Had I done it, I would have done something else would have happened, you know. So basically, if you learn the following pattern, had I been there, gone there, written that, done that, submitted the documents, had I met with the girl of my dreams, I would have been much happier. Had I pursued my goals when I was still young, I would have made it in my professional life. Had I achieved my lifelong dream of becoming a financial trader, I would have now been making 100 grand a year and I'd be living comfortably. Had I not been born in a foreign country, I would have been a native English speaker now. There are hundreds and thousands of different variations, you know. You may fill the gaps in whatever way you want, you know. You can basically use this speech pattern in your own self-practice on a daily basis and a regular basis to make it your second nature, you know. And then you won't have to rack your brain and think about, hold on, what's this conditional 2 about? How do you construct conditional 3 sentence? You use past perfect, or was it past perfect? Was it not simple perfect? You know, all this analysis can be eliminated if you do away with the grammar aspect of the sentence, just perceived as a natural speech pattern, sentence that people just use in real life, and just repeat it until it becomes your second nature, and then all of a sudden it just comes out of your mouth effortlessly, and you don't even have to consider what this had followed by the past participle, what it represents, what kind of tense it is, what it's actually called. You don't need to know that even, you know what I mean? Even if I'm getting you all confused with these terms and you're about to look them up on Google now, don't be bothered, please. Just one of the following sentence. Had I, and then you have to, the only thing you actually have to know that you have to follow it up with the third form of any verb, which is the past participle, you know. You have the normal form, which is the infinitive form of a verb, like to be, for instance, and then you have the past, simple past, which is was, or were, depending on the person, right? And the past participle is been. So basically, in this particular instance, the sentence in question would become, had I been there, for instance, I would have seen something, you know. So basically the past participle is added onto every part of the sentence, onto the first one and the second one. Had I past participle, I would have past participle, you know. But you don't need to know that it's actually called past participle. You don't necessarily need to know that, although probably that'd be the mere minimum you should know to get it right, you know. But even if you don't know that, even if you say things like had I wrote that, you know, the proper way is had I written that. But even if you said had I wrote that, that would be 100% incorrect, because some native speakers, for instance in Ireland, here where I live, they say that all the time, but of course it's incorrect and you're much better off speaking correctly, you know. So had I not discovered the opportunities of the internet, I wouldn't have started my blog, EnglishHarmony.com, and I wouldn't have met you guys and become your mentor and your friend. Okay, thanks for watching this video, and see you in another English idiomatic expression video. Bye-bye!